Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome to the weekly platform service of the Tri-County Unitarian Universalist based in Summerfield, Florida. We acknowledge that we occupy the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the indigenous Florida peoples. I am Liana Barnes, your service leader for today. Hello to our members and friends, and a special welcome to those who might be visiting for the first time. Unitarian Universalists are united not by a creed of shared beliefs, but by a covenant of shared values. We celebrate that we do not need to think alike to love alike. It is our respect and encouragement of each other's diversity of thought that truly binds us together. For the curious and the seekers, Unitarian Universalist values and covenant may be found on your order of service and on our website, TriUU.org. Our newsletter, included in the timetable, can also be found there under News and Events. We have announcements, but first, everyone knows, please mute your phone or put it in airplane mode. Thank you. If you're here today looking for Reverend Christina, our minister will be back at the pulpit on December 7th. We have lots of announcements today, so bear with me. Please stay after today's service and join us for our bagel breakfast. Unless you have other plans, come join us for TriUU Thanksgiving Day. We have a potluck and fellowship this Thursday, November 27th at 2 p.m. Please bring an appetizer, side dish, or dessert to share and be with our beloved community. Sign-up sheet is back at the AV team, or contact Helene Kirschbaum. Third, the giving trees are in the foyer for children in the Dallas community and in the school systems program for the needy and homeless. Directions are posted on the table. We'd like your participation. Take an ornament, shop, return all gifts unwrapped by December 14th. See Joyce Mills with questions. Joyce is right back there at the back table. As we move toward the end of the year, you can still take advantage of a possible reduction of taxes if you use your IRA account funds to pay your TriUU pledge. Maria Kelly will send a pledge statement this coming week. I already received mine, so you can see where you stand toward fulfilling your pledge. Please note that the statement will only include payments toward your pledge for our fiscal year, and it ends in March 2026. Other contributions, such as Fifth Sunday, will not be listed on this statement. Next Sunday, November 30th, is our Fifth Sunday special collection. It will be for the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemorative Committee Scholarships. We have been a sponsor to assist area high school students attend college for many years. Your contributions will make a difference to them. Cash donations or checks written to TriUU with Fifth Sunday on the memo line will be accepted. On behalf of Melodies in Mind, and that Maria and Frank Kelly are a very integral part of that, it's a dementia-friendly chorus. They would like to thank you and all of our TriUU members who were at our concert last Wednesday. The concert was a great success, and we are so proud of you, and you shared this experience with us. And the announcement we've all been waiting for this morning. I am happy to announce that this congregation is now powered by 100% solar energy. Let the sun shine. This concludes our announcements. As we now begin the service proper, we will recite our mission statement. Please join with your voice as we recite together. We unite in religious community to speak, show, and serve with compassion. Our chalice keeper is Liz Perdue. We invite those of you joining on Zoom to light your chalice at home.
As we light our chalice, hear the words of Professor and author Brené Brown. Perfectionism is not the same thing as striving to be your best. Perfectionism is the belief that if we live perfect, look perfect, and act perfect, we can minimize or avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. It's a shield. It's a 20-ton shield that we lug around thinking that it will protect us, when in fact, it's the thing that is really preventing us from flight.
I invite, for century, yes,
That's okay.
here we go. Thank you. Right there.
That's fine. My name is Cindy Grossman, and I'm so happy to be here. And did anybody else notice when Liana said we were on solar, the streaks of sunlight did come into the window at that very moment? We have magic here. Our opening words today come from Richard Rohr's The Tears of Things, Prophetic Wisdom for an Age of Outrage. There is an inherent sadness and tragedy in almost all situations, in our relationships, our mistakes, our failures, large and small, but even in our victories. We must develop a real empathy for this reality, knowing that we cannot fully fix things, entirely change them, or make them to our liking. The way of tears and the deep vulnerability that it expresses is opposed to our normal ways of seeking control through willpower, commandment, force, retribution, and violence. Instead, we begin in a state of empathy with and for things and people and events, which just might be the opposite of judgmentalism. It is hard to be on the attack when you are weeping. Thanks.
Please stand as you're willing and able. We sing our hymn number 16, "'Tis a Gift to be Simple." Tis a gift to be simple, tis a gift to be free, tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. Turn, turn, will be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. Turn, turn, will be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round right.
When I lived in New York, not having children of my own, did have the pleasure of having a little girl named Sally who lived right across the hall from me. And it was my great pleasure not every night, but on some nights, to go there and read her stories. And when she was little, she loved rhyming stories. And this is a rhyming story, so I want you all to access your inner child right now and see this, or hear rather, the story of Penelope Perfect. They call me Penelope Perfect. If you know me, I'm sure you agree. Have you ever heard of Old Faithful? Well, that geyser's got nothing on me. I wake up at 5 every morning to begin my daily routine. I smooth all the wrinkles out of my sheets and make my room perfectly clean. Next, I do 10 jumping jacks to follow my exercise chart. For breakfast, I always eat pancakes. My mom makes them shaped like a heart. I pack up my lunchbox and school bag. I get dressed and I feed my cat Gus. I kiss my mom and dad goodbye and head outside to the bus. At school, I straighten my desk just so. I sharpen 6 pencils, too. I ask about extra credit and recheck the work that is due. At lunchtime, I pull out some wet wipes to kill all the germs on the table. I turn all my food to face me so that I can read every label. At recess, I rewrite my lessons. I can't stand to have sloppy notes. I practice my spelling words twice and brush up on my Abe Lincoln quotes. I climb on the bus to go home and tackle my schoolwork at 4. I eat dinner with mom and dad, and then I study my lessons some more. I put on my favorite PJs, brush my teeth, and comb my hair. My parents tuck me in at 8 with my cat and my teddy bear. I don't fall asleep till much later. There are so many thoughts in my head. I need to double check the list, and I keep safely by my bed. I love to be prepared with every detail on track, but sometimes a sudden storm throws things way out of whack. I snooze through the thunder and lightning, deep in a very sound sleep. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, my trusty alarm doesn't beep. The storm must have knocked out the power. We've all slept till past 8 o'clock. I don't have time to shower or even to find matching socks. My bed is rumpled, my hair is a mess. I can't fix the wrinkles in my polka dot dress. I run to my parents' room crying, what are we going to do? My watch says it's 8:17. Please tell me this cannot be true. My dad leaps straight out of bed while I scoop up all of my stuff. The plum that I grabbed for breakfast will just have to be enough. Dad takes me to school and I gulp. What will the other kids say? I've never been late for anything. I know this will be a bad day. The tardy bell rings through the hallway. I sigh and open the door. Everyone turns as I walk in the room and their jaws nearly hit the floor. With my unbraided hair and wrinkled dress, my mismatched shoes and sweater, I look like I've been through a hurricane. I sure hope my day will get better. I wonder what I'll eat for lunch today since I didn't have time to pack it. And what if my pencils all break in two? I'm not sure that I can hack it. Just when I think it can't get worse, I get my first ever B. I slump in my chair with my head on the desk. What a catastrophe. My teacher walks over to see me. I'm sure she senses disaster. I kind of feel like crying, but instead, I burst into laughter. Why do I feel so giddy? Something strange is happening to me. My wrinkled clothes are so comfy and my messy hair makes me feel free. I decide to go out for recess. My notes can wait for a while. The other kids look surprised at first, and then they start to smile. To think of all those days I stayed in when I could have been playing kickball. The truth is, I can't stop smiling. Recess is fun, after all. A wonderful feeling of freedom fills up my mind and my heart. Maybe a day can be happy even after a terrible start. I survived this memorable school day, do my homework, and help mom and dad. I even have time to play outside. I guess goofing off isn't so bad. I've learned not to make life a checklist. That doesn't mean I'm lazy. It's all right to go with the flow sometimes and not make myself so crazy. I've decided that from now on, I won't be in such a big hurry. I'll still try my best in all that I do, but I'll try not to constantly worry. They call me Penelope Perfect. That was once who I wanted to be. But now I think it's better to just be Penelope. Thank you.
As we move deeper into our service, let us turn inward to consider transitions, the joys, sorrows, and concerns we all experience in our life's journey. There are 3 bowls of stones of different colors, representing the gratitude of joy, the grief of sorrow, and the hope of concern. After those present have placed stones in the water, our ushers will place stones from each of the bowls into the water on behalf of those not physically able to come forward, those who are not present, and those who have chosen not to. Those online are invited to type into the chat to express what is in your heart. When all the stones have mingled in the water and all have shared, we will take a moment for silent meditation or prayer. As the sound of the bells brings us back into the community, we will sing our response, Spirit of Life. Ushers, you may now come forward. We will now take a moment for silent meditation or prayer. As the sound of the bells bring us back into community, we will sing our response, Spirit of Life. We will now receive our offering. If you are visiting for the first time, please do not feel obligated to give. You are our guests, and we are happy to have you here with us today. This is the time in our service when those who wish to make some monetary contribution to our congregation's vision and mission give support to this community and its outreach. If you are putting cash in the basket that you want credited to your account, please put it in a brown envelope with your name on the front. Envelopes are available on the table at the back of the sanctuary. I invite the ushers to come forward.
Oops, wrong direction there. Thank you for your generosity on behalf of this congregation. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. The best thing about doing a talk about controlling perfectionism is there is absolutely no need for you to be perfect. And let me tell you, when you don't feel you have to strive to be perfect, it takes away a whole lot of pressure and anxiety that many of us experience when faced with such a task. The unknown, of course, is how each of you will respond to this talk. Will you judge it as useful or something that could have been better? Will it be good enough for you? We are living in anxious times. We are pulled in many directions. It seems like the world is on fire, and it's hard for us to know where our efforts are best placed. We worry about our future and the future of generations to come. When we adopt a stance of perfectionism, we cloak ourselves in a whole other layer of anxiety. Now, to be clear, when I talk about perfectionism, I am not talking about self-mastery. Artists and athletes and even scientists who try to perfect their performance are obviously admirable. But as shame researcher and author Brene Brown, that Liz also quoted from, says, healthy striving is self-focused. How can I improve? Perfectionism is other-focused. What will people think? We need to be vigilant about gearing our performance to other people's expectations about how we should behave, how we should look, how we should succeed, and even how we should age. Are we told by society that we have to be good providers and we have to work hard and that we need to excel as employees or parents or homemakers, grandparents, and even retirees? Are we told to achieve a certain body type? Do we have to live in an expensive house or take luxurious vacations, even if it stresses us financially? For men, success sometimes is seen as competitive, and vulnerability is seen as a weakness. And yet for women who are very successful, they are often seen as bossy and cold. Anxiety is an inevitable outcome when there are such high expectations and all people feel that they are being monitored for compliance. Sometimes we internalize those feelings of vulnerability as shame, and we learn to hide the parts of ourselves that do not comply. Yet we need to ask ourselves what systems may be responsible for the notion that we always must perform perfectly to a certain standard. Perfectionism is the engine that helps capitalism flourish. Capitalism thrives on perpetual dissatisfaction. The idea that what we have is never quite enough, never the latest, never the best version. We have to strive always to be better, thinner, more youthful, and more productive. While perfectionism encourages us to have higher standards and achieve higher goals, the downside is that there is a cost for this. In addition to anxiety, there are high rates of burnout, loneliness, and isolation, fear of failure, and risk aversion. And so we turn to therapy sessions, self-help books, fad diets, and a whole variety of pharmaceuticals, fueling industries that benefit from our failure to achieve expectations of perfectionism. But perfectionism doesn't only serve capitalism, it can also accelerate or normalize systems of authoritarianism. Democracy is one of the most inefficient systems that there are. If you can suppress dissent and foster obedience and conformity, we become more tolerant of leaders that promise certainty and efficiency. Authoritarianism depends on binary thinking. There is a right way and a wrong way. There is no room for ambiguity or personal difference. Failure to comply with the perfect standard becomes a moral failure. Silence becomes a tool of control. Perfectionism encourages ranking people and pathologizing difference. This results in more emphasis on shaming, policing, censorship, loyalty tests. The power belongs to those who claim to know what perfect looks like. Many cultural systems foster ideals of perfection, most obviously white supremacy, where one racial identity becomes the standard and other races are subject to judgment, and any individual can be seen not for their own unique qualities, but as representative of an entire group. In patriarchal systems, there are gendered double standards of perfection. In colonialism, our way is the civilized way. In ableism, there is one normative way of functioning, and everything else diverges from the norm. In classism, we police aesthetics like the right neighborhood or the right school. In heteronormativity, we promote the limited narrative of an ideal family of a man and a woman, two perfect children, and a dog. How do we sometimes unknowingly carry these assumptions into our organizational life? Almost 3 years ago, when I became president of the Board of Trustees, I took on a whole other list of expectations and shoulds. My first week, I was asked, who is responsible for ordering the toilet paper? I said, I didn't know, but I was quickly told, well, you should. Since then, I have been told that I should be responding to emails instantaneously, that I should be soothing all people who have a gripe, and I should be available to solve problems 24/7. Apparently, the volunteer position that I have agreed to take on comes with a whole list of shoulds, and they vary from week to week. Perhaps your volunteer position has a lot of shoulds too. When I lived in New York City, a popular way to meet potential partners, believe it or not, was to attend the weekly talks with the cognitive behavioral psychologist Albert Ellis. Yes, only in New York City would a Friday night workshop with a famous psychotherapist constitute a great opportunity to find a prospective partner. Every Friday night, the hopeful would show up at Ellis's townhouse on East 65th Street for a little demonstration of Ellis's technique and hopefully a connection to an emotionally aware and potential partner. Believe it or not, I actually dated for just a few dates a man who I met there, as did many others. Albert Ellis was not only a psychotherapist, he was quite entertaining, and he was known for some maxims that he would repeat each week. One of them is, there is no rule that life must be fair. Another one is, you can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. And a favorite of mine was, stop shoulding on yourself. Or when addressing others, please don't should on me today. Every Friday night, Albert Ellis would sit on the stage with a volunteer and ask them to discuss their intimate problem, and then say something like, it's time for you to stop masturbating. Ellis used to say that notions of you must, I must, even life must, are the main sources of emotional disturbance. He cautioned us to stop demanding perfection of ourselves, of others, or even the universe. Instead, we can replace musts with preferences, like, I prefer to do well, but if I don't, I can still accept myself. Sometimes, even in our own congregation, we masturbate. But also within our beloved community, we have the antidote to overbearing perfectionism. As president, it has been very important to me to build a beloved community where people can connect with each other in a meaningful way. One of the first things that I instituted was the monthly bagel breakfast. And doing so, I came across a whole lot of musts. I was told, we're in Florida. Bagels must be a New York thing. We must have toppings for bagels that accommodate everybody. There are people who don't eat cream cheese, they need peanut butter, they need vegan butter, they need preserves, they need tofu cream cheese. We know that some people don't like all the carbs in bagels, so we must provide fruit. Some people have dentures and they can't chew bagels, so we must have muffins or croissants available. And then this is going to be breakfast, so we have to have eggs. And therefore, volunteers must stay up from the night before and make deviled eggs for the meal. Yes, there were a lot of musts that we had to face before this program came together. And I thank Gretchen, who did a marvelous job of dealing with all the musts. And 2 years later, I'm proud to say once a month we get together for bagels after service, including today. So it is an egalitarian time when even those who can't take the time to join us because they're working for perhaps during the week and we're having those weekly coffees, they can still join us after service for bagels and sit down. There are also people who don't have the disposable funds to go out to restaurants after service, and they can sit down and join us for bagels. The whole purpose is that we get to know each other on a deeper level. As a congregation, I believe we have found real connection by sitting down and breaking bagels as some traditions may break bread. Perhaps you are like me and you try to rotate to different tables each month so that you get to meet different people on a more intimate basis. The Board of Trustees recently participated in an online UU Institute course called Tending Congregational Life, Guiding the Membership Journey. This course emphasized what they called side door activities as essential to building community. These are the activities that we do together outside of the normal Sunday worship. What people want most is connection and authentic community. There is an old adage that a person needs to make at least 3 friends in a congregation if they are going to stay. Our goal in this congregation is to create the opportunities for people to make those connections. At a bagel breakfast in my New York City congregation in 1988, I met one of my closest friends. Cynthia became the person that joined me on road trips. She went to lectures with me, poetry readings, jazz clubs, and she worked alongside me in an area soup kitchen that the UU congregation was serving, and she also served with me on the Board of Trustees. When it was time to move to Florida, she came to my house every night and helped me pack. Now that's a friend. She came to Florida every year for a week-long respite, and we shared so many wonderful times together, going on long walks and bird watching, until about 1.5 years ago when she died suddenly, alone in her apartment in New York City. I miss Cynthia every day, but I am so thankful that a bagel breakfast brought us together. Our time in the world is finite. None of us knows how much longer we have together. The author-philosopher Oliver Berkman wrote a book suggesting that the average lifespan is a mere 4,000 weeks. Cynthia, who is in seemingly good health, and my husband, Neil, who dealt with 10 years of debilitating illness for the last 10 years of his life, never made it to the 4,000-week mark. Other people like my mom, who's 88, is working to make it to the 5,000-week mark. Maria Kelly's mom, who recently celebrated her 100th birthday, is well past the 5,000-week mark. Yet I think to myself, how many weeks I have wasted. All of my working life, I had the Sunday night scaries. Perhaps you had them too. I was so anxious about all the things that I had to do perfectly that week that I often forgot all of the opportunities that were there to nourish me. One of the best performance reviews that I ever received from a favorite supervisor, Father Steve Bisco, who I just learned died just last month, was when he put on my written evaluation the sentence, "Cindy, we don't value you for what you do. We value you for who you are." Imagine if we approach life this way, understanding that being there authentically for each other is more important than being perfect in all of the things that we do. I am not immune from the power of consumerism shaping my identity. For a while, I had a perfect car. It wasn't very fancy, but it was flashy, red, had a sunroof. It had heated seats, which, believe it or not, can be used in Florida if you have a tired or sore back. A little over a year ago, I went to the car dealer where I was leasing the car and told them, "I love this car, has low mileage, and I wanted to buy it at the contracted price." To make a long story short, the dealer, as car dealers may do, convinced us that that car would not be under warranty, you're going to be facing a lot of repairs, and you'd do so much better if you leased a new car. He told us we were missing a lot of bells and whistles. Reluctantly, I gave in, but I wanted a similar car that was red too. The dealer said there are no red cars in the lot, and the waiting list for red cars was very long. I asked for blue. He didn't have those either. I told him I didn't want white because I would never find it in a parking lot. So he says, "I'll find you a car." He went to the back lot and picked out an orange car for me. Rich, who was getting really tired, said that he liked that car, and I whispered to him, "There is no way I'm taking an orange car because it would forever remind me of a certain someone who's in our country." So I said absolutely no, and we said, "Let's go home and think about what to do." At that point, the desperate car salesman said, "Just wait 1 minute," and he ran in the back and he came driving up in a neon yellow car. This car was so bright that I needed sunglasses to look at it. It did not fit with my perfect image for my car, but I was too exhausted, and I said, all right, I'll take it." When I brought it home and showed my mother, who lives down the street from me, her first comment was that the last car on the lot? She was not a fan. Over several months, I really began to enjoy driving this very bright car. My friends would tell me that they could see me from the roadway if I was at the store or at the library. Here at the congregation, everyone knew when I was around because of my car. It became part of my identity, and I grew into that car. Unfortunately, it's a 3-year lease, and I will soon have to grow out of it too. But my point is, sometimes what we think is perfect is not the only option. When we become closed-minded and too set in our ways, we lose opportunities to explore other options. There are other things that we can enjoy, at least for a little while too. Yet a car is a commodity, and most precious opportunities are not things that we have. We are living in anxious times where all things are approached like commodities, even people in our lives. How many of us cultivate our perfect lives on Instagram, leaving out the times when the toilet overflows, the car breaks down, and our perfect dogs have kept us up all night because they are sick? How many of us succumb to advertisements and television commercials, pursuing things that will make our lives better? But as a favorite t-shirt of mine says, the best thing in life are not things. We live in a finite world, And it is the relationships that we have and the pursuit of just causes that gives our lives meaning. And yet we also need good boundaries. We can't keep overwhelming ourselves with too much to do. Do you suffer from FOMO, fear of missing out, like I occasionally do? That is also a path to anxiety and dysfunction. Every time we make a commitment or overschedule ourselves, there is an opportunity cost. One commitment made means other opportunities that we can't enjoy. And we need to leave space for things that emerge. We need the time for those things that spark joy. For example, Deb had an impromptu cabin retreat a few weeks ago, put it together in just a very short time, and 17 people got to know each other better and take a deep breath in nature together. It is time to embrace our limited capacity. We need to recognize that life is limited and time, energy, and attention are finite. This is not defeatism. This is clarity. It forces us to make conscious choices rather than diffuse our energy across too many things. It is time to let go of the concept that busyness in itself is an accomplishment. The value lies in which things we decide not to do, as well as those things that we do, and eliminating some of those things that we're doing to do a few things more deeply. Wouldn't it be good if we can let go of the illusion of control? Plans are useful, but life is unpredictable, and we must allow for flexibility and uncertainty. We can reclaim leisure and being in the present moment. Leisure should not be just a time to refuel for productivity. It has intrinsic value. Being present, not always future-focused, is vital. It helps us savor life instead of always viewing life now as a stepping stone to something else. In the words of Walt Whitman, I loaf and invite my soul. And that's what's special about this community. We come together on Sundays to enter a spirit of the Sabbath, however you define that. This is the time to cease from busyness and to rest and reflect on what is most important to us. Yes, we still have to load the dishwasher and clean the tables and a multitude of other tasks that we do each Sunday in this space. But as my grandmother always said, many hands make light work. And I admire how most people jump up and do at least a little something so that not one person is overburdened by our gathering. The most important thing is that we are present to each other, that we allow each other to be authentic in this space, even imperfect and safely vulnerable. That's what makes our time together meaningful. Because as Brené Brown says in her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, vulnerability is the birthplace of connection. Vulnerability allows us to tell this story of who we are with our whole heart. Perfectionism gets in the way of vulnerability. It becomes an armor. Perfectionism says, if I can just look perfect or be perfect, I can avoid shame and judgment. Brown reframes vulnerability as the willingness to show up and be seen even when the outcome is uncertain. Brown discovered in her research that many people even resist joy because it feels too vulnerable. It's too good. Something bad will happen. Practicing gratitude and allowing ourselves to feel joy anyway is an act of vulnerability and courage. Let us use our time together wisely. This is a time for connection and belonging, not for just connection and isolation that comes from the pursuit of perfection. This is a time for sharing burdens and not creating unnecessary burdens for each other. Good enough is the ultimate form of resistance. A truly good life grounded in community and belonging. I hope that truly good life is grounded in community and belonging, and I hope that every Sunday each of us looks around and says, I belong here. What we have is truly good, but we must stay vigilant to not let the perfect be the enemy of the good. As a vet said once, we shouldn't fret if one day our potluck supper results in too many desserts. That's why we call it potluck. I'll never forget that when she said that. If we don't have eggs on Sunday for bagel breakfast, I think we will survive on the nourishment provided by being our authentic selves with one another in community. This Thanksgiving, as always, I am grateful for this community and for the opportunity every Sunday to enjoy a Sabbath that resists the consumerism that is prevalent all around us. In this beloved community, nobody is a commodity. Everyone is valued for who they are, not just for what they do. Now, who is it that keeps us supplied in toilet paper? I still don't know. Thank you.
Please stand for our closing hymn, 311, Let It Be a Dance.
May I have the sense with you
Liz Perdue will now read our chalice extinguishing message.
Very nice job, Cindy. As we extinguish our chalice, hear the words of our very own, very wise, TriUU Buddhist meditation teacher, Joyce Axelson, who hopefully is joining us on Zoom. In her words, I invite you to make a covenant with yourself, to go forward with a peaceful mind, a heart center, and living your life. Because now back to me, because as the author Toni Morrison reminds us, you are your best thing.
I invite anyone who has just begun to visit with us and who wishes to do so to introduce themselves. Please raise your hand and the usher will bring you a microphone. Please keep the microphone close to your mouth so that we can hear you.
Hi, I'm Greg, and this is my husband, Richard. It's our first time here, and I'm so thrilled.
Also at the meditation, every other Thursday, right here in the sanctuary. Sorry, no announcements.
Many, many years ago. It's not working? No.
Thank
you. Many years ago, there we go, I was just absolutely petrified of death because I was afraid I would miss something. I wasn't afraid of physical death, I just didn't want to miss anything. And then someone, this was at a UU congregation in Miami, said to me, well, have you never heard of reincarnation? Well, immediately this world disappeared off of my shoulders because I thought I could come back and keep learning more. So that FOMO was very much a part of me. I do have an announcement this morning. Wednesday, in my house, a brand new 5-pound girl, great-granddaughter, appeared. So, thank you. So we're really happy about that. And this was a humor part to me. Her 13-year-old aunt, who also lives with me, held her and said, she's sweet. She won't be a menace to society.
Reflection, we're still in reflection.
Oh, okay.
We're still continuing reflections. There it is.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think Joyce started us out with reflections.
Right. Right. We're interested to hear how you experienced this hybrid worship and what you took away from the sermon. For those of you on Zoom, raise your hand to speak or type your comment in the chat box. For those here, please raise your hand. there is time, which I think we have time, Cindy or I will call on you. Please share your name. Keep the microphone close to your mouth so we can hear you better. If you wish to be seen on the monitors, please come toward the front.
Hello, I'm Linda Bobbitt. I loved it, Cindy. It was very, very good,
Oh, thank you, Linda.
very meaningful.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm missing Roger Cooper at the moment. He would have said you knocked it out of the park.
Oh, thank you.
But it's been
That
those-
would be a high praise.
Yeah. For me, there were so many special moments in what you said, but the concept of it's an intimacy and vulnerability, those connections that we form relationships. Thanks.
Thanks, Helen.
Hi, I'm Ginger. Cindy, thank you for sharing so much of yourself to help us remind us that we're each very important to each other.
You are indeed. Thank you, Ginger. And, whoops, right over here, Ray. And then we have Helene in the back.
Hello, my name is Ray. Been here for a while. I write down lines that I hear from people and read and things. I have all kinds of sayings. I have a whole book full of sayings. I just found a new one. The best things in life are not things.
I'm glad. It's an important one. Thank you, Ray. Helene? She needs the mic, I believe. No, I don't. Oh, you don't? Okay. It's online. Okay, Helene is going to tell us that Roger is here. Oh, this is an honor. Roger. You have to unmute yourself, Roger.
Well, Cindy, I appreciate all that you shared of yourself and your experience base and the paradigm that you're setting for us as a congregation. I feel overwhelmed with all the little facets and would love to sit with you and anybody else to explore any of these that make sense. But being overwhelmed is not enough. I would like to make one small contribution to your description of what it means to be an authentic self. Sure. And that is to quit blaming other people for how we feel. My mother used to say, Roger, you make me so mad. That's a bunch of bullshit because I was the stimulus. Yes, I can take responsibility for being a craggy, nasty, sometimes stimulus, but I'm not responsible for your response to me. And that paradigm has to become prominent. We got to quit blaming other people for how we feel. Taking responsibility for how one feels is the hallmark of a mature person. So when somebody says, you hurt my feelings, that's not true. They are in charge of their feelings. And so I think we need to explore that paradigm as part of being an authentic self. I will take responsibility for being a stimulus. I will not take responsibility for your response. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roger. Your point is well taken. And, I would very much like to sit down and talk to you about this, too, because I do think about you often. Let's go to Yvette, and then we'll go to the next person online.
Thank you for that talk. I really, really loved it. Many of you know that I was a student of Buddhism for a very long time and that I love quoting Zen masters. So here's a good one. You are perfect just the way you are, but you could use a little work.
Very good. And Helene, do you have somebody else? Myra, could you hold on for just 1 second? We have somebody here, and then we'll go to you in a second, if you can unmute yourself in the meantime. Yeah.
Cindy, your talk reminded me of another talk I went to 40 years ago in Miami. I was an aspiring young artist, and Milton Glaser, who was a very famous graphic designer and illustrator at the time, was having a talk at a local university, and I went, and I expected to have an hour of talking about brushes and composition and all the stuff of art. The whole talk was about, as he put it, you can only do one thing at a time, and if you know this, you will change your life. And he talked for an hour about it, and he really could talk for an hour, and it really was that in-depth and interesting. I've always remembered his talk and appreciated it.
Yeah, multitasking, as they say, is a myth. It's not really possible if you give it your full attention. Myra, good to see you.
Hi. I think you did really well, and you are aware that this is one of my favorite topics. And I have a question for you that you may not have an answer to, but let's all think on it. How do we remember to keep this up? Because I have to remind myself all the time. You know, you don't have to be perfect. You are enough. That's good enough. Good enough is good enough. And I always have to say that to myself over and over. How do we keep this in mind? That's my question.
Well, that's a hard one, you know, and that's why I think we use aphorisms. The perfect is, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I can't tell you how many times I've said that to our board and to some of the people in the congregation. And that's why I decided to go with this topic here. You know, look for the aphorism to remind you as a nudge and then be present. I think that that's part of it. Be willing to be present with your feelings. Why are you feeling like this right now? You know, is there something else going on? Are you trying to be perfect in a world that really cannot be construed? You cannot do that. You know, this is an anxious world. We get turned on by a lot of different things all the time. And yet we have to step back from it. I always want to go to Joyce's meditation class. The times I've been there has been wonderful, but it's a great way to remind ourselves to be in the present moment and, you know, have opportunities and spaces in your life to reflect on what's important and why you may be feeling stressed and anxious. Thanks. We'll go to Helene and then we'll come to Liz. Okay.
Thank you, Cindy. It was a real good message and useful for me. What I try to remember, maybe this is an answer to Myra's question, is I think of the word best. And when I say best, I mean best for who I am right this moment and best that I can do right this exact second. And, you know, am I doing my best? That's for me the guidelines, I guess, rather than I try not to do the perfection. Of course I do, but you know, and my best today might be different than my best tomorrow, which might be different than my best next week. So as long as I'm doing my best for this moment, that needs to be good enough.
Right. Thank you, Helene. Your point is very well taken. Okay, we're going to go to Andrea and then Liz. Okay.
Just because the mic is closer here. Yeah, thank you, Cindy. It really was an exceptional presentation overall, which includes Tom and the choir. And the opening hymn, oh my God.
Always.
Really,
they're phenomenal. And one of the great things about being the person who volunteers when the minister's not here to give the sermon is you get to choose a couple of the songs, and I got to choose a couple of my favorites today, so it was really a special treat to have the choir perform them and have Tom, of course, perform them. Thank you.
Thank you for suggesting it. Thank you. Just one other thing, and I think we can all appreciate having this extra time to talk back or to continue the discussion.
Right.
And I understand that Reverend Christina is not able to do that, not because she doesn't want to, but maybe we could start services at 8:30.
I don't think I'm ready to take that on yet. But, you know, for people that are new here, our minister does serve two congregations. So she spends time with us and then has to run off for an 11:30 service in Eustis. So it's always a little bit of a challenge, but she's been ending a little earlier and spending some time in her office with people who wanted one-on-one time with her. So that's been good. And you can always make an appointment to see her one-on-one or talk to her on the phone or Zoom if that's better. So do remember that. And Liz, oh, wait, we're going around here. Nancy.
Hi, Nancy Croce.
Uh-huh.
Cindy, the priest from St. John's was correct. It's who you are.
Oh,
And
thank you,
we
Nancy.
Thank you so much. And this is off the topic, but I was reading last night about all the work the group did clearing the bush. The names I remember are Andrea, Tim, and pardon me for not remembering everyone.
Ann and Liz and
Aaron and Calvin is who is outside.
right. Yeah, they did, just so, do you want to say what they did, or?
No,
Yeah.
they were clean the brush.
They clean the brush, okay, which, I'm not much of a Florida naturalist, but I've come to understand that it's very important to keep this place clean because they found the, what kind of tortoise are they? Gopher tortoise, okay, gopher tortoise nests. And, they're keeping this a viable habitat for tortoises that have been extinct. So we have really wonderful guests, not at our table, but on our land, okay, that this group did an outstanding job yesterday of clearing the land for, and we all have to be attentive to making sure that we're careful when we're driving out, et cetera. Yes, and Liz.
Thank you, Nancy. Now I forgot what I was going to say, but hi, I'm Liz. And those of you that know me well know that I have a big place in my heart for little kids. I volunteer with 7-year-olds in a second grade classroom. I am appalled at the number of anxious children because of the stresses that their parents are putting on them. These 7-year-olds are a mess. So as adults, we know that all of our shame growing up made us adult messes, but please work with your children or grandchildren and great-grandchildren to make them less anxious. It's a terrible world for them right now. Thank you.
There are a lot of Penelope Perfects out there, unfortunately. And yes, and I was thinking, there's so many things you have to leave out when you do this, but in New York City, at a certain time of year, there's a huge line into the bookstore because they release the book of the preschools that you can get your kids into. And it's so competitive to get into preschool. And then, of course, all the other, schools, every time they release one of those books, it's extremely competitive. And you can't help but think that children are feeling that pressure. So you have a very good point there, Liz. Okay, I think we should go with the benediction, and then eventually we'll be able to eat bagels. Hold on one second. Okay, this benediction comes from a book that Reverend Christina had me read. It's called Sabbath as Resistance, Saying No to the Culture of Now by Walter Brueggemann. Sabbath declares that we are not commodities. We are not tools of production. We are beloved. On Sabbath, we practice saying, this is enough. I am enough. What we have is enough. Happy Thanksgiving to all.